Top of the afternoon. This is Edward Lawson from edwardlawson.com. I'm reporting to you today from an Amtrak train in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by New Mexico. The occasion for my comment is an event which involved me about 2 hours ago being assaulted and abducted by DEA agents from the Amtrak train that I was going from L.A. to New York on. Details are something like this. Amtrak train number 4, which is called the Southwest Chief, comes out of Los Angeles on its way to Chicago. I am on the train. Train pulls into Albuquerque, New Mexico. Believe it or not, it's an Amtrak train, and the thing is actually early. Not on time, but early.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in Lawson, New Mexico. If you are getting off the train here, you should be getting off the train here. Thank you very much.
So because the train is early, we get off the train, we walk around downtown Albuquerque, return to the train, and as I'm getting on our car, which is car number 413, last car on the train, seat number 6, I see that there is this guy, sort of short, wearing a brown shirt and blue jeans. He's talking to the lady, I think, who's sitting in the seat directly behind me. And then he turns and talks to the couple that's sitting directly across from me. The gist of their conversation is such to lead you to believe that he's doing some kind of security something or other. I don't know what. Don't pay much attention to him. He turns to me, asks me if I was transporting a whole list of the foolish questions they always ask you at the airport: bombs, knives, contraband. I indicated no. He asked me if the baggage is directly above my seat. If any of those bags are mine, I indicated yes, they were. He asked me which one, and I started to point them out one by one. I asked him, did he have any identification? Did he have a business card? He pulled out a badge. I informed him I didn't have my reading glasses, which I couldn't find, so I couldn't read the badge. Asked him again, could I have the business card? This goes back and forth. He indicates he doesn't have a business card. And the conversation, in, I think, his wording, is escalating. And so he told me to go downstairs. And I asked him, well, who was he and why was he ordering me to go downstairs? And he just said, go downstairs. He very quickly called another person, which is a taller gentleman, I think in blue jeans, with a blue striped shirt. The first gentleman, it will turn out eventually, he is a DEA agent by the name of Bassett, as in Basset Hound. Mr. Bassett orders this other fellow to come, and the other fellow grabs me. Just conversation. We haven't done anything, haven't said anything other than the conversation I've related. The gentleman twists my arm up behind my back as hard as he could, and then drags me backwards to the middle of the train where the stairs are taking you downstairs. At that particular point at the top of the stairs, he handcuffs me. Again, haven't done anything, haven't said anything other than the conversation I've relayed. And he starts telling me that I'm resisting or that I'm causing a commotion. And I'm telling him that's not true. I mean, I haven't done anything, I haven't said anything. But you can see that he's sort of trying to be able to put into the record that he said those things, although it's conspicuous, even at the time, that what he is describing isn't taking place, hasn't taken place. They take me downstairs to an empty cargo car. The second gentleman, whose name I don't have, he starts going through threatening conversation in terms of what he's going to do to me or what could happen to me. And I basically told him, he can do anything he wants to. I mean, they're all armed. I haven't got any kind of gun. I'm handcuffed. And he seems to get more irritated, so that conversation, I stop. Eventually, Officer Bassett comes down, and he again goes through the whole thing about drugs and bombs and all the rest of this. And he had started this sort of second diatribe about he did not like my attitude. He did not like my attitude. And so he goes back into the he did not like my attitude. And he explains to me that the reason that I have been arrested, handcuffed, and brought down here is that he did not like my attitude. That's his point. He goes over and over. He then explains that he wants to go through my bags to search them. And I asked him, did I have any choice of this? He said, I didn't have to let him go through my bags. I said, well, no, I have no need for you to go into my bags. So then we escalated even further. They said they were going to bring the dog. The dog, as it turns out, is this sort of skinny little, I don't know where the thing looks like this thing had just escaped from a dog pound. They bring it in. They continue giving me a lecture about they didn't like my attitude. Another team comes in with this dog. The train is now being held up. There are passengers who are sort of trying to figure out what's going on, what's coming and what's going. And all of this just going around in another one of those nonsensical, unconstitutional, chaotic circles that is of the fabric that nightmares normally are made of. Dogs sniffed the bags. Dogs didn't particularly like the bags. I get another lecture on the fact that he'd been doing what he's doing for 15 years, and as quickly and ridiculously as it started, it's over. During the course of the conversation with both Officer Bassett and the other officer, they're asking all sorts of completely unrelated conversational questions. The two of them are talking at the same time. It's just difficult to make sense out of what they're trying to do. For instance, one of the things that seemed to obsess the officer who bit my arm behind my back and cuffed me and strong-armed me downstairs, he wanted to know, well, why was I going to New York? And I told him I was going to New York because I was going to New York. The fact that I didn't have a...
That was our Redondo, New Mexico station stop. Our next station stop is going to be Trinidad, Colorado, in approximately 56 minutes. Again, ladies and gentlemen, 56 minutes to Trinidad, Colorado.
Because, according to this officer, I could not give him a good reason for me going to New York. In his mind, that was probable cause. Another one of the silly questions they asked me was, did I have hotel reservations in New York? I told them no. Okay, then they seized on that. Because I didn't have hotel reservations in New York, that was probable cause for something. They just kept on coming up with these astoundingly inane questions, which I could not correlate to any conceivable criminal conduct, much less probable cause for the same. The quality of police work has deteriorated tremendously. Struggle as you may to be polite, you walk away from Officer Bassett and the rest of these people with a clear impression. These guys are just simply... They are no mental match for the work that they have been tasked to do. These boys, obviously not trained, obviously not supervised, and obviously did not possess the initial IQ, the initial intellect, to even begin to understand the federal Constitution and the statutory mandates for the drug enforcement.
Well, that's it. Stay tuned.